Number 3, we got to stay inspired. Stay inspired. They want us to believe that we can't do this. They want us to believe that this cannot happen on November the 2nd. And the way they try to demean us and uninspire us is they use what I call the liberal syntactics, S-I-N. S, they want to shift the subject. We have a failing economy, and now the media is talking about Mideast peace talks. I'm all for peace. They've been talking about the Mideast peace talks since Jimmy Carter was president. And now we're supposed to focus on that while unemployment goes up, while the economy still falters, while 15 million people are still unemployed. No, let's get back to the economy. So they shift the subject. And the liberal media helps them with that megaphone of shifting the subject on things that aren't necessarily top priorities that we ought to be educating the public on. And then they ignore the facts. They don't like the facts. Jack Nicholson said they can't handle the facts. Because you see, the facts are not on their side. So know your facts. Know your information. Know your history. So if you do get into a conversation with someone that is willing to listen for a little bit, you'll have the facts to share with them. And then the N in S-I-N, which are the tactics of the liberals and the left, name calling. That's their favorite tactic. You remember when Janine Garofalo, yeah, y'all know who she is. Yep, you all know who she is. Nancy Pelosi called us AstroTurf. Then we had Harry Reid said we were un-American. And then the NAACP called us racist. And then I've been as a black American who happens to be patriotic, an American who happens to be black, a conservative, I've been called every name in the book. They've called me sellout. They've called me Oreo. They've called me racist. How can that be? But the other day on a radio show, this was a week ago, I got a new one I needed to add to my list of names that people called me. That doesn't faze me. You know that old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. A guy calls a radio show. True story. I had never been called this before. The guy calls and says, Mr. Cain. That was his voice. I said, yes. You are shameless. I said, excuse me, sir. What do you mean? It is shameless that you, as a black man, will disagree with our black president. I said, sir, see, I try to be real polite on the phone when people call. I said, sir, I have 2 points I would like to make to you. They may be difficult for you to comprehend, but try. Point number 1, there are some black people, some white people, some brown people who can think for themselves, and I happen to be one of them. I don't need somebody to tell me how to think. My mom and my daddy didn't waste all that money on my education for nothing. And I said, sir, here's the second point I would like for you to keep in mind. When we reach a point in this nation where we cannot criticize our elected leaders, no matter what color they are, we are no longer a republic, and we will then have become a nation ruled by tyranny, and some of us are not going to let that happen. not going to become a nation of tyranny. The last thing I said, sir, have a nice life. Because I won't be talking to you anymore. But those are the three things that we've got to do. We got to stay connected and united. Stay informed. We got to stay inspired. And let me tell you what inspires me. My mom and my dad's story inspires me. They were able to achieve their dreams. I'm not going to sit back like you're not going to sit back and allow the dreams of our children and our grandchildren to be taken away just because our government has been hijacked by liberals. So I'm inspired by what has happened in the past. I'm inspired by what is happening today with you being here and the other events that are going on all over this country. But let me tell you what else inspired me. Back in 2006, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It was in my liver and my colon. I had to go through chemotherapy, have double surgery, go through chemotherapy again for an intensive 2-month session. This was in 2006. And back then when I contracted cancer, I was one of these people who had never been sick a day before in my life, never been in a hospital. But because I was able to get an aggressive treatment plan going fast enough, I didn't have to wait 6 or 7 months for a CAT scan like Dick talked about, like they do in Canada. And if I'd have had to wait 6 or 7 months, I'd be dead. If I'd have had to wait 3 months for the colonoscopy, I would have been dead.